Hey, how you going? So, it's been a bit of a tough time in our house lately, and I am very cautious about how much I tell people, but mainly just to protect my gorgeous boy. But this morning I was like, gosh, there could be some mums out there, maybe it's you, that's really just struggling with your passionate child at the moment, and I just want to say that I feel you, and it is hard and like so mentally exhausting. Hey, Catherine. I'm sleeping well at night, but I'm waking up exhausted because I'm just trying to figure this little guy out. So I thought I would just jump on today and just say, like, I've got your back if you're struggling at the moment. And I just wanted to share a few things that have been going on that could be helpful, could be, maybe not, but, you know, take from it what you will from my experiences. What I do know is that it's week 4 of the term, and our little people are feeling it. They're tired, they're at the end of their tether, they are holding out to have a break. And so I know that that'll be a huge contributor to what's been going on in our house lately. So there's that, and there's so many things, right? Our little people are actually, they have a lot going on, and sometimes it's hard to kind of get out of our own head to kind of see that and kind of help them. What I've learned a lot from my perspective, especially in this last couple of weeks, is that your main priority when you're dealing with a passionate child in these rough times is that self-care for yourself should be like on the top of the list, should be your top priority. Because if you're not rested and have that mental energy, you're going to be of no help to your little one, because you won't have the capacity to hold them and hold space for them, which is so important and exactly what they need at this time. So that would be one of my top things, is take care of yourself first, which I know is really hard because you know being mum is a 24/7 job. So that's when I would say, if you can get your partner on board, it is totally okay to kind of, we call it tap out when things are getting really hard. Obviously I do most of the parenting because Phil works, but he's totally aware. So when he gets home and I'm just be like, dude, you're on, I'm out. I really need to fill my cup because I don't have the capacity anymore to keep the calm and really just hold that container of safety for my boy. So that would be my main tip, is for you to just really look after yourself. Other things that have been really helpful for us at the moment, I've been doing lots of reading. When things get a little bit out of control, obviously trying really hard to keep calm myself when his emotions and stuff is just out of control. It's really important for me to hold that safe space. So for example, he was on the floor wrapped in a duvet this morning, didn't want to go to school. I was literally lying on the ground with him. But I asked for permission first. I think that's really important. We need to allow our kids to have the space to feel through things. So this morning we were literally just on the ground. His face was all covered. He was covered in the duvet. I was just lying next to him, and I just said, I'm here when you're ready, and you just let me know what you need, and I'm just here for you. So again, being able to have that capacity, you need to really be calm and have filled your cup, is what I'm trying to say. So important. And what other things we've been doing? We've, like I said in the last couple of videos and stuff, we have cut down device time, which has been a real savior. Another thing that we've been really cautious of is also just the foods he's been eating. So sugar and preservatives and all that stuff can have a massive impact on how they react to things as well. So we're trying really hard to cut down sugar being a massive one. So that's another one we're trying. We're basically just trying this process of elimination to see what the hell's going to work and try to figure it out. So that's one. So screen time, sugar, sleep. Because it's the end of term, just making sure that your kids are having quality sleep and getting in bed on time is just massive. And knowing your kid too and how they best get ready for bed. So I've just got into human design recently. And so Mitch is a generator, so him being that energy type, he actually needs to use up all his energy to therefore go to sleep and have a good sleep. Nate is a projector, so that energy type, he needs to slow down and quiet down and rest into sleep. So huge contrast. So basically at 6:30 at night, TV's off. We've got Nate who's chilling on the couch with me. Mitch is running around like a crazy guy with Dad, with Nerf guns, shooting zombies, and physically and creatively getting all that energy out. So that's a huge one too, just having that kind of understanding when it comes to sleep time and stuff. Another one is just I've actually had a conversation with the teacher just to make sure that everything, whether she's picked up on anything at school. The fact that he's not wanting to go to school, kind of just okay, is there anything that's going on at school? Because also too, anger, this is what he's showing at the moment, can be the result of other things. So like the iceberg, so anger's at the top, but there's so many things underneath. And so looking at whether it's actually the anger as a result of fear. Has something happened at school to make him scared and not want to go to school? Is it shame? Has he been embarrassed? Or has something happened where he thinks that people are judging him? So kind of just being aware of that. And like I said, just being end of term, they're just really tired. So of course, they're just going to be really susceptible to all the small things that kind of go on. So I guess just having a look at that. And the other thing I wanted to say too for you mums out there is everyone is going to give you their opinion and advice as well. And so even when you don't ask for it sometimes, I've experienced this because everyone likes to think that they kind of know better, especially, I don't want to say this nastily, but some of the older people who think that because they have kids, they know what you're going through. But you just have to decide for yourself whose advice you want to take on board. And what I found too is I'm just really glad that I have a therapist, because I have someone who I actually trust, who I can go to and talk through all of this stuff with, who I know comes from a not a biased perspective, I guess you could say. And so we managed to kind of talk through all of that stuff. So when you're talking to people about it, because obviously we need to talk about what's going on, just choose those people wisely who you kind of have that conversation with. People are very quick to judge. I had an experience this morning when one of the other teachers came up to me and voiced her opinion about this passionate behaviour. To be honest, I just wanted to say fuck off, or just punch her in the face, because it was like, you know what, this is not actually helpful. Have you got anything of value to add to this? Because I don't know if you can tell, but this is really bloody hard for me. Anyway, so that would be my other piece of advice, is to have someone you really trust, who is actually just going to listen and not try and fix the problem for you. Because sometimes that's all we need, is just someone to hear us and just to listen. That's all we need, because it's bloody hard, believe me. Oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. Another thing that I'm really on top of is using essential oils for the house as well. So if you didn't know, with essential oils, they really do have an emotional type quality to them, as in they can help us on an emotional level. So we've been diffusing, this morning I was diffusing cardamom, which is basically, it's really helpful. I've got this little book that kind of explains all this stuff, but it basically says cardamom is especially helpful for times when one's anger goes to their head, causing them to become hot-headed. In such situations, the individual becomes inebriated with anger, losing control of emotional function. So cardamom helps to bring balance, mental clarity, and objectivity during moments of extreme anger and frustration. And then the other one I'm diffusing with that is bergamot. I love bergamot. It's the whole self-love thing. So I know he's really struggling with a lot of stuff right now, and so that's just another way for me to feel like I'm supporting him, and feel like I'm doing something. So the essential oils for us is just such a great tool to just feel a little bit empowered, to feel like we're doing something to kind of help. So yes, so there's a lot going on. And the last thing I wanted to share with you, my good friend Jessie Buttons, New Zealand Super Nanny, shared a post a while ago about the 3 important times of the day for our little people. So again, as mums, if we're filling our cup, if we're really giving ourselves self-care and making that a priority, then we can be there for those 3 important times of the day. So the first one is the first 10 minutes they wake up in the morning. So I've been trying, like, morning is not my best time. I think I've talked about this before. I am not a morning person, but I make sure that I'm available for my kids in the morning if they come to me. So I just try and keep a really happy, calm house for those first 10 minutes. For my boys, I just love on them in those first 10 minutes. When I see them in the morning, I say, I'm so happy to see you today. I'm so happy to see you. I love you so much. And I try and fill their cup with stuff of just, I got this from Dr. Shefali in one of her books, is that just show love, not for the things they do, but just for their actual being. Just being as is, just being them as a person. So that's how I try and do that in the mornings, just like, I'm so happy to see you right now. Like, you've made like my day get off to a really good start. The second time is at school pickup. So that transition from like that school environment to then coming home to their safe space. Especially with Mitch, Nate, he's so easy, but with Mitch, I go in and pick him up, and in the atrium, I literally, when he comes to me, I get down on my knees and I just open my arms and just hug him. I don't say anything. I just hug him, and he'll usually just give a school bag for me to carry, and then we're off. But I don't try and create any communication with them after school. I don't say, how was your day, anything like that. I wait for them to come from quite the structured school environment to, driving them home, and then when they're ready to talk to me, I will obviously have a conversation with them. But especially for Mitch, when I pick him up, it's just that hug. And the hug where I literally close my eyes and I sink into him, and I just kind of visualize giving love to him. Like if I was this ball of love energy, like passing this love energy onto him, I just make that a priority. And then the third time of the day is 10 minutes before going to bed. So like I said before, with energy types and stuff, we do that. But saying goodnight at bedtime is hugely important. And I do this every single night. And if I don't, I can tell that they feel that. And again, I just go in, give them a kiss and a really big cuddle, and I just say, I just love spending time with you today. Or like with Nate, I really enjoyed our time together, just hanging out on the couch. That just made my day. I love you. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. So we're trying that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, connection is really important when they're going through this tough time. They just need to know that we've got their back, and just to hold that safe space for them, whatever that may look like and whatever works for you. But like I said, if you're a mum and you're really struggling at the moment with your kids and holding that safe space, please make self-care and self-soothing and whatever it is for you to make you feel loved, or just to have had that space to then fill your cup so that you have the capacity to be there for your kids. And breathe, and just breathe. And no, I am right here with you. It's fucking hard and it's bloody exhausting, but we're doing good. We're going to get there. It's Thursday, one more day, then we've got the weekend, and then just one more week, and then it's school holidays where we can do our best to just give them lots of rest before we go into the last term of the school year. So I hope that's helpful. I see you, I really do. If you're struggling, this has been like the toughest couple of weeks in a long time, but I know that once we find the answer, once we can name what's going on for him, we're just going to be off and it's going to be amazing. So take from today's advice what you will, but just look after yourself. It would be my main piece of advice. Have a great Thursday. I'll catch you real soon. Bye.